All right, all right, all right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming in. You are dishing tea with Big Meach. And once again, I would like to thank you all for joining the show. If you would like to come in and talk with us and have questions or comments, you can feel free to call in at 347-205-9183. Once again, that's 347-205-9183. I am here today having a good time. This is going to be a great show because this is his very first interview, radio interview with his new title, and I'm very ecstatic to get the exclusive, if you will. This person and I, we go back a long way, and I'm very excited about his success and want to make sure that we do him justice. Once again, to call in, if you got questions, comments, or concerns, the call-in number is 347-205-9183. If you have any show ideas or suggestions or comments or critiques, you can send them to dishingteawithbigmeach@gmail.com. That's all one word, dishingtea with bigmeach at gmail.com. Also, we have the chat room up and running, so if you logged on to Blog Talk Radio and you got a page up, you can go to my chat room and have a chat session. Those of you who are over there, honey, I'm one person, so I'll be working back and forth. I'll get over there to you in a second. If you're online listening through your telephone and have a question or comment, just press the number 1, and your hand will raise up on my switchboard, and I'll come in and I'll get you in a second, okay? So we're going to get things moving right along because I'm very excited about this man's success. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to present to you someone who has been the voice of my life for a little piece of minute. His name is Mr. Jessie Peck, and he is currently the new bass singer of the legendary group, The Spinners, okay? Let me give you a little bit of his background. Mr. Jessie Peck, the Voice, as he has been affectionately known, was born in Queens, New York, and has been raised in Detroit, Michigan. He, since his very early childhood, Jessie knew that entertaining was what he wanted to do. At the tender age of 9 years old, he was modeling for Essex Productions and got bit by the bug when he sang in his first of many talent shows. He became an accomplished trumpet player in middle school and soon after added acting and theater to his repertoire. Once he got to high school, Jessie was a member of the Cody High School Choraleers, the Cody High School Latrobe Des Arts Theater Department, and was a member of the critically acclaimed Tony Talley and the Beat It Crew, where he cultivated his craft, and we nicknamed him The Voice. After graduating high school, he matriculated to Specs Howard School of Broadcasting Arts and graduated in the top 2% of his class with a 4.8 GPA. Jessie went forth and earned a living as a professional singer and dancer and was a member of the R&B group Unique. During those days with the group, he graced the stage and television with many artists such as The Temptations, The Dramatics, and the late Gerald Levert. After returning to Detroit, Jessie found himself tapping into his skills and found himself behind the mic as a radio personality. He worked for the Mix 92.3 WMXD, 97.9, or we knew it as 98 FM back then, WJLB, and also the Rhythm, 107.5 WGPR, where he hosted his own show, Night Rhythms. Since that time, and after leaving the radio and television format, Jessie is now the new bass singer of the legendary group The Spinners. And without any further ado, I want you to welcome to my show. This is The Voice, Jessie Peck. Hey, baby, what's up? Dish your tea with me, baby.
Hey, you doing all right today?
I am everything, and everything is me. What's going on in the world of Jessie? Come on now, dish it up.
Just relaxing and just getting prepared. I've got a rehearsal later this evening with the rest of the guys. We're doing a concert in St. Louis this weekend. Just got back from New York and Virginia, where we had an awesome time. Awesome time. Yeah, just enjoying it, man. It's a wonderful thing when you can make a living, doing the thing that you love to do most.
Okay, now, that leads to my first question with you. Let's talk about that. Doing the thing that you love to do most. Explain to the listeners out there, what does that really feel like? Because we hear it as a cliche so much. Oh, it's such a dream to do what I want to do. Tell me, what does that actually feel like?
I've been trying to answer that question since I joined the Spinners, and I finally found a way that comes closest to explaining how I feel, with the way things have turned in my life. Being with the Spinners, it's like opening up, the pages of a fairy tale book and just diving inside. It is wonderful. I haven't been with the group long at all, but everywhere I go, I am treated as a Spinner. It still hasn't sunken in yet, that I've actually joined these guys. The Spinners was the first concert I ever saw when I was a kid. My parents and we saw them at the State Fair. No idea that I'd be up, up there performing, singing and dancing with the guys one day. But it's wonderful. It is like a dream. It is like living. It's my real life fairy tale. It is. It's wonderful, and I look forward to every show.
Well, all right then, Cinderfella. That there. Okay, right. That is rich to know that this was the very first group and the very first concert that you ever saw.
Yeah.
To witness on stage, and then here these years later to be a member of them. Now, with the Spinners being such a legendary group, what is that feeling for you to come in to now have to establish yourself as credible as the group members already are, and yet still keep your integrity?
Well, bass is what I do. So as far as getting in and doing my part, that's no issue. Showmanship, singing, dancing, I'm not saying that I'm so great at it. What I am saying is I love to do it. So that part is very, 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 very easy for me. The hard part is wrapping my mind around the fact that I am now one of. I've gone from playing them on the radio, for many years to now actually being a member. So the stage performance, no problem. And when you come to a Spinner show, which I hope you do, we'll be at a town near you very soon. You will see me up there. I'll have the biggest smile of everyone on stage. It just looks like I'm having a party up there. So that's no issue. It's just wrapping my mind around the fact that I actually am a Spinner. It's incredible. It's incredible. And they treat me very well. Henry and Bobby, the two original members, very gracious gentlemen, very kind, and they've been very good at guiding me and just making sure that I have everything that I need and that I stay on point. So it's a wonderful thing, Meach. It really is.
All right. Now, coming in and you having to fit into the shoes of a member that has passed on and is not with the group anymore, has that been any pressure on you to do that, or has the audiences made you feel any differently or anything?
No, the audience has been fine, but it's funny that you asked me that question. When I first joined the group, I came in touch with Purvis's wife. Purvis Jackson's the gentleman that I've replaced. He's an original Spinner, phenomenal singer, and from everyone that I've talked to who had known him, he was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being. It's kind of touchy when you come in contact with the wife of the deceased member, the son, the daughters, of that deceased member. How will they feel, about you coming into the group and taking the place that their dad, her husband, once had? And as uncomfortable as I thought it would be initially, Mrs. Jackson, she was just gracious. She's a wonderful lady. She's very beautiful. She's one of my biggest supporters. Herbert, he doesn't like to be called Herbert, but Herbert, the son, has been gracious. He's been very supportive of me as well. Stephanie, the entire family, and I think that is just tremendous. But I do have their blessing in stepping in where Purvis left off, and that means the world to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like it is just a joy and more of a heartfelt love that comes from them and is coming from a place of genuosity that they welcome you into the fold like that. So that there is great. That there is absolutely great. Now, here, let's go back. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to add to that. Yeah, they've been extremely generous. I mean, and they've been to my house. I go to Claudine Purvis's wife. You know, I was at her birthday party just recently. We had a wonderful time. We have gathering. It's a family. You know, once you're a spinner or a spinner wife or a spinner son, I mean, that's for eternity. And we still have our gatherings and our meetings, you know, together as a whole. And it's nice to be included in that. It really is. These guys started back in 1961. You know, they were doing this thing before I was even on the planet. And, you know, to be able to come in right now and join them and to carry the torch, and to be as welcomed as I have been, it's wonderful, Meach. It really is.
Wow. So, you know, I slightly live vicariously through you because I know a little bit of the story, honey. You know, and to see you at this particular point, I am just thrilled for you. For those, well, I told you guys, Jessie and I go back to our high school days. And so part of this journey I knew about, and to see him at this point, I'm sitting over here glowing for him. And when I got the call that he made it into the group, baby, I thought I was going to backflip and carry on and say, I'm a little too big to be doing all that with some kind of grace and eloquence, so I didn't. But but I did have to pick myself up off the floor a couple of times because I was...
Let's back it up before then, because not only let's back it up before you got the word that I was a member. I had talked to you, and there were a few people that I would talk to about this. I had auditioned for the Spinners after Purvis's passing in August, and after that, it was the longest 3 months of my life. You know, waiting to get the official word, and you know, yes, I've worked in radio and television for 20 years. Yes, I worked as a dancer, as an actor, and the whole nine. But at that time, you know, I was working in a factory, looking around every day saying, my God, how did I end up here? You know, so once I did the audition, you know, it was only 3 months, but it seemed like an eternity. And you were one of the few people, because I wasn't telling everybody, because if I told everyone, and if I didn't make the audition, then, you know, I've got to say, well, what happened, Jessie? Well, they hired someone else. And I didn't want to go through all that. But you were one of the few people that I could talk to, you know, during my praying times, during my I guess I'll say it, my crying times, you know.
You better say it.
And, you know, it'd be late at night, sometimes in the wee hours of the morning, you know, and I just called you, and you would tell me, hey, it's going to be all right. What will be, will be. If it's meant for you, it's going to happen. We're going to claim and we're going to receive and accept that this is your destiny, and it's going to happen. So not only were you weren't just there the day I found out I was a spinner. You were there with me, supporting me, holding my hand, if you will, you know, and trying to keep me sane while I was waiting to find out. You know, because I would have truly been devastated had I not been picked. But at the same time,
right.
I would have had to move on and go on with my life and move to the next venture. So
exactly. But remember, one of the things that I told you at that point was always remember, because this is so innate with you. See, entertaining is what you do, darling. And I'm going to get to that in a minute because we're going to talk about a few of those dark days. Like you said before, yes, you've been singing and acting and stuff, but there was those dark days, like you said, you found yourself in the factory because you couldn't find what we call work, okay?
Right.
So, you know, but I told you, know that it's going to happen because it was already promised to you. Now, with this group or not, that was the question. If it happened with the Spinners, it was going to happen. If it didn't happen with the Spinners, know that it's going to happen. Your vehicle had to come. So, yeah, that was part of that coaching through that, if you will, because you needed that encouragement. And one of the things, and here's what I want you to take us back to these particular days, the La Trope des Arts days, because you know, that was our creed, baby. La Trope for life, you know? So let's talk about that. What did La Trope des Arts mean to you during those particular days, and how has that shaped you now?
Well, you know, when you're in high school and even in middle school, but we'll stick to high school for now. They're preparing you for what you're going to do in life. They're having conversations with you about what your career goals are, what are your skills, what are your desires, what are your abilities, what is it that you're able to do, and they try to make sure that the curriculum is moving you in that direction. Well, when you're in when you're interested in becoming an entertainer, you know, the basic curriculum doesn't do anything for you in that regard. So thank God I had, and I don't want to leave out, you know, the Cody band, you know, which I was a member of, the orchestra band and the marching band, where I played trumpet and bass horn. But even more so, where it was me, was the acting, the group that you and I both belong to, La Troupe des Arts. That allowed me to open up and to explore. And to kind of hone my skills, and it kind of let me know in a sense that there is something here that supports what I want to do. Because I'm not I wasn't a future doctor, lawyer, gas station attendant, or whatever it may be. You know, I was destined. I felt even then to be, you know, an entertainer. You know, and not so much it wasn't the wealth, you know, that I was looking for. I had told myself that if I could do a concert every weekend and then go home, if I lived in, say, the Herman Gardens, for those who don't know, it's a housing project that used to be in the Detroit area. It's no longer
used to be, right. I used to live there, but go ahead.
If I lived in the slums by day, but by the weekend, on the weekends I get to perform for thousands of people. As far as I'm concerned at that point, I'm a wealthy man. I am a wealthy man. Being in La Troupe des Arts allowed me to, you know, explore a lot of those feelings, allowed me to, you know, grow those skills, you know, working with other brilliant actors such as yourself. You know, it was a wonderful experience for me. It was truly a wonderful experience, and I want to thank the director of La Troupe des Arts, Susan Story. I didn't say teacher,
coach.
The director. She was not a teacher, although I learned a lot from her.
She was the coach for all intensive purposes because we ran that like a sports team. She was the coach, and to this day, this is 20-some-odd years later, if she calls me, that's coach. So, hey, you know.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, sometimes I'm doing the lead role in a play. Sometimes I'm the supporting actor. Sometimes I'm backstage pulling the curtain, you know, or I'm doing a sound effect, you just
that heartbeat, baby.
You know, and that was to show the teamwork. That gave me, you know, the foundation for, you know, what it is to support one another in a cast. You're not always up front, but that doesn't mean you're not in the show, baby. We're all
That's right.
in the show. We're all in this together, and we're going to make it happen. At the end of the show, when there's curtain call, we're all out there, you know. Cause
that's right.
Each and every member, each and every person on that stage, behind the stage, you know, at the front of the stage, controlling the sound. It takes all of those individuals to make it happen. So
exactly.
A lot of the things that I'm seeing now in my life with the Spinners and what we have to do to put a show together, it reminds me of my days with La Troupe des Arts.
Okay, very nostalgic, huh?
Oh,
now,
you better believe it.
Oh, darling, I've had many of those moments as well. Now, we talked about La Troupe. Now, let's get to Tony Talley and the Beaded Crew, Mr. Dancer. Baby, 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 baby. Y'all were a force to be reckoned with. As a matter of fact, I think you guys helped put Coney and things on the map. As far as, you know, having legends in the making, if you will, because you guys were phenomenal.
Wow.
And, of course, with everybody's, you know, that was back in the era where Michael and Prince were, you know, just the two unstoppable forces at that time, and, you know, just everything that was with that. Tony Talley and the Beaded Crew, y'all were the force. And around Cody, everybody either wanted to be a part of it or whatever. Give me your days of that, and what does that mean here? And tell us a little bit about how that has shaped your performance style.
Well, you know what? When I grew up, my parents, you know, I had parents that were very strict. I mean, I'm talking the definition of old school. My parents, you know, it's funny. Before I go into that, I just want to set this up. My parents were the type of parents that, if I were even trying to go over a girl's house, and I remember being in high school talking to a young lady on the phone, and in a very innocently, hey, come on over, we'll have a good time, this, that, and the other. So I go to my mother and I say, hey, Mom, I want to go to so-and-so's house. Here's her address. Here's her phone number, as in I know you need all of this stuff. It's broad daylight. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just going to go over. We're going to watch some TV, and then I'll be home. Well, is her mom going to be there? So I get back on the phone. You got to be cool. You're in high school. Say, oh, baby, is your mama going to be home, So, yeah, my mom will be home, and she won't bother us, talk to us. Okay, baby, hold on a minute, Go back to my mom. Her mom's going to be there, and everything's going to be fine, you don't have to worry about it. My mother said, well, let me speak to her mother to make sure. I said, oh, forget it, That's the kind of thing that I was up against. So the only way I got out of the house was by entertaining. Rehearsals, after school with my focus art, marching band rehearsals, and singing with, and performing, not singing, but performing with Tony Talley and the Beatty Crew. Now, for those, most of you do not know, Tony Talley was the Michael-like of the early 80s. This gentleman looked like Michael, danced like Michael, but besides that, he was also, a tremendous break dancer, pop locking, and all that kind of stuff, back in the day. And I admired him in middle school, but I joined him in high school. So we got to perform. It got me out of the house. I couldn't believe my parents let me out, but they saw the importance in what I was doing. So it might even be a weekday, a school night, where normally I'd have to go to bed at a certain time, but instead I'm out performing at a wedding reception or a bar mitzvah. We even opened. There used to be a venue in Michigan called the Premier Palace. We performed at the Premier Palace. We opened up the OJs, the Manhattan, Millie Jackson, and so forth. So I'm doing all these wonderful things as a high school student,
Right.
It's back to school the next day, and you're a regular guy. But I had this other life that just kind of propelled me to the top, if only for a few moments. I was... indulging me. I was a star,
Okay, exactly.
For a few moments,
exactly.
Then I go home, I take out the trash, I wash the dishes, or whatever I'm supposed to do, But that was wonderful for me. Without Tony Talley, I probably would have been indoors, a whole lot more than I was. But it was a great outlet, a great opportunity to perform. I remember we did when we first got together, and it was for a high school talent show. We did the Beat It video. For all those Michael Jackson fans, I played the guy that did the knife fight, the gentleman in the white, that wore white and stuck his arm out.
Michael Peters.
One of the guy's arms. And then we went back and forth with the blades, and then we came together and did the routine. So it was a wonderful thing. We did Beat It, Thriller, all the major routines that Mike did. We did. We performed, and we got hired at clubs, bars, sometimes concert halls, opening for big groups. And it was an incredible experience, and all that drug did was get me even more addicted. I just knew that after high school, this was what I had to do. This is what I needed. Right.
Got bit by the bug, baby.
Oh yeah.
Well, we can't leave this particular segment without paying homage to Michael. And I know it's been somewhat overly done, most people would say. However, after the memorial service yesterday, what does that mean to you in its totality? Now that we have memorialized him, and I see that what his contributions have been to your career, it's helped to establish you. How does us not having him in the physical form anymore, how does that affect you in these particular days?
Well, I got to say, to myself alone, I was a Prince fan. But whoever you were a fan of, you could not watch Michael and not think or say the word, wow,
Exactly.
Michael was awesome. And before there was a Prince, there was Michael, and he was all I had. From the television show, the movies, Ben with the mice and all that kind of stuff, E.T., the guy made you love rats. Come on. Michael.
Okay. Right.
He was incredible. He is incredible. Michael, his works, his music, his performances will live on with us forever. Michael has been touching me and others around the globe since he was a young child. Every time you saw him perform, you never said, okay. You never just grabbed the remote and just turned the channel. You had to sit there and watch what he was going to do. If you'd seen it 100 times, you couldn't turn away. Michael was the most incredible performer that God has ever created.
Exactly.
Ever created.
I would second that emotion.
Yeah, and as far as the memorial service, well, first of all, when I heard that he had passed, I turned to the news and I saw it, and I was just tremendously overcome and with sadness. And I wanted to call as many of my friends as I could without breaking down, but I couldn't. And I remember thinking to myself, Jesse, you don't even know this man. You know, why is it that you're feeling this way? Why are you feeling this tremendous loss? It's all the love, all the great performances. It's everything that Michael has given us. Michael gave us his all. His all.
Exactly.
During the Spinners concerts now, we've added to our show a special dedication to Michael Peck.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Wonderful.
That we do. And it's sad. The song for Michael that I think of right now is Gone Too Soon. That man was is just gone too soon. And I regret that he had to deal with all the pressures that come with that level of success. I think a lot of that drove him to do the things that he did to himself, physically, the medications and things that he was injecting into his body. It's a lot. You would think that it's easy to be him and live his Neverland, fantasies and whatnot, but it's not. He was constantly scrutinized, and funny how now that he's dead, the young man who accused one of the young men that accused him of wrongdoing later came back and said Michael never touched me, and he said his father put him up to it. And I want to make sure I mention that because the media is not covering that. The media
Say that.
The day of his death, I was so disgusted because they brought up the allegations of child molestation over and over and over again. And now that one of the young men who accused him admits that he lied, that his father put him up to it, and that it was all about money, I don't hear anyone talking about that.
I don't either.
Maybe my timing's off, but I don't hear CNN mentioning that. That's not something that you're talking about. They're talking about how weird he was, how different the guy was, and so on. Even death. It just shows the world is cold, man.
That's what Teddy P says, a cold, cold world, baby.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm going to say that I will put Michael amongst the ranks of the greats, the Gandhis and Mother Teresas and Martin Luther Kings and Malcolm X's and Frederick Douglass's, and all of those great people who answered a calling, because Mr. Jackson gave up his life as we know it so that our lives can be enhanced and enriched. Everything that he did with his talent and his art was to uplift humanity and to better humanity and to better the world. And even though he had his own personal struggles with that, I really believe it was a battle of the spirit and the human self that he was in conflict with because he has such a great calling. And to see someone with that much power stop the entire world when he passed, and the entire world listened and paid attention to his memorial service yesterday, that there is more than just an icon. That was one of the guardians or one of the angels down here answering a call and went home because his job was done. And for that, I continue to give my condolences to the family, and I will continue to let it be known that he is now one of our ancestors, and he answered his call, and I just thank the Creator for allowing me to be in a time and a space that I was able to be touched by this man's word. Because I missed Martin. I missed. We studied Gandhi and Mother Teresa in school. We studied Martin Luther King. I wasn't here for those, but I was here for Michael. And, so I thank God that I was able to be a part of his genius and how his work has helped shape my life.
Yeah, I'm thankful that he shared so much of himself with us. And my prayers go out to the Jackson family tremendously. I'm lifting you guys up. And I'm praying for you that you guys have peace, and strength in this troubled time. And to Janet, girl, I love you.
Janet is still Janet. Okay.
I love Janet so much I can't even see. I will never go to a Janet Jackson concert.
Wow.
Never. I can't take it. I can't take it. She is too much.
Okay. You love her so much I just can't take it. Just let me love you from a distance, girl, because if I get too close, it's over. Okay.
When she did one of her first album, Come Give Your Love to Me.
You are not going to take me back there, because don't nobody know that album but me and you.
Yeah, she made that song about me.
Okay, boys. Stop it. We're on the cover in the damn swimming pool. Get out of here. Get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with, I affectionately call him The Voice. This is Mr. Jessie Peck, honey, one of the newest members of the legendary group, The Spinners. I see I got a caller waiting. Jessie, are you ready to take a call here and there?
Wow, yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, I got someone here. We're going to go to 313-371. You're on the air with Dishing Tea. Hey, darling, how are you? Dish your tea with me.
Well, praise the Lord, nephew.
Hi, my darling. How are you?
Loving aunt from Detroit.
Hey, Auntie, what's up, baby? Dish tea, girl. Say hi to Jessie.
You got it. Go with the bad stuff. I see you doing it. And how are you doing?
I am everything, honey, and everything is me.
Well,
just sitting up here just having a little fun, honey.
Well, that's wonderful. And Miss Ann, how are you doing, dear?
I'm doing just fine.
I see you moved on up in the world.
Yes,
and I'm glad to hear that. I'm Peter's auntie, too. Peter Jackson?
Oh, yes, I know Peter.
Okay, I'm his aunt, too.
Right on.
So that makes me your aunt, too.
All right, then. Okay, that's the real tea right there. She said that makes me your auntie, too.
That's right, auntie.
So I want you to, when you bring yourself here to Detroit, I want you to get in touch. And I want me a front seat.
Yes,
all right, now. Yes, ma'am.
I'm putting my digs in now. I'm putting my digs in now.
Right now.
I'm old, but I'm jazzy old.
Oh, she said she old, but she jazzy. Oh, okay, now look here. You going to start calamity up here on the thing, girl.
And there's nothing like more than a jazzy lady.
And I love to hear my kids doing well and getting all up in the world and doing good. And not forgetting about God. That's
right now.
Thing. I'm so glad. And I'm in your corner, baby.
Well, thank you, Auntie.
Well. So what, darling?
I said thank you, baby. I appreciate you so much.
Well, you know, I know. Because I done been there.
Girl.
And I know how hard it is. And I'm so glad you guys are doing it and doing it in the right way.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you all. And
thank you.
To keep on keeping on. And keep your hand in the hand and feel that water. Keep your hand in God's hand.
Yes, ma'am.
And just keep on doing what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am, and I thank you for that.
I'm in your corner, and I'm keeping up prayers for you.
Thanks, Auntie. We appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
And
we appreciate you for that.
About Michael, because I feel that he was one of God's angels that he put here.
Yes, ma'am.
To pave the way and bring his people back together.
Yes, yes.
God was tired of him being ridiculed as much as he was.
Okay, you said God was tired. Now, come on now.
And they don't think about the good. And,
right.
And Michael was still a child at heart.
Right.
He never really grew up.
Right.
And he was a blessed child. And he loved children. And all that mess they had of him, I don't believe none of it. But Michael would hurt a grown-up before he would hurt a child.
That's right. That's right.
Everything is good. God makes no mistakes. And he's gone on, and he did what he had to do.
That's right. Let's say that.
And everyone needs to put their hands around his kids and show them love and let all of that garbage go.
Yes, ma'am.
They don't need that.
That's right.
I know this is going out over the airwaves, and I'm just a plain old simple aunt.
That's all right.
Plain old simple grandmama. Plain old simple mother. Look out for her children.
Okay.
Keep on serving God.
That's right. We shall.
Now, that's it.
Okay.
Get your next call. I don't want to take up all the space.
All right. Well, thanks, Auntie. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, you're welcome, baby.
All right.
All right. Y'all have a blessing.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. You do the same.
Well, all righty then. You've heard it from one of the ancestors and one of the living teachers, honey. That's Miss Auntie, honey. And she said it best, child. Okay, God got tired of them ridiculing. Yeah. I like that line. And she said, God got tired. All right. Yeah. So, with understanding our faith walk and understanding the nature of this business, because now you're on the road, you're touring and all of that. And see, baby, you got this voice that will make butter just flip over. Okay. Oh my God, honey, because I've been telling you this for years.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been telling you that for years. Now, Jessie, I love you, and you have a special, special place in my heart.
Right on. I love
okay, and you and this voice, baby, you makes me, honey, I feel like one old schoolgirl when you get into the trenches. Now, if I go through all of this, I know the fans do. How does that ground you, being that you are a family man?
Well, when I'm away from home, when I'm out on the road, they do pump me up quite a bit. It's funny when we perform like at a casino, and if my host is at a casino, maybe on the 20th floor or whatever, I can't. It takes me an hour just to get from backstage back to my room. You start
right.
Pictures and autographs and talk. My mom's on the phone. Tell her hi. All this kind of stuff. It's incredible. It is empowering. It is very uplifting. It's rewarding. It's instant gratification. Instant gratification. I feel like a king. I really do. When I get back home, when my plane lands back in Detroit, I'm back here with with my family, the wife, the kids, all my friends who all really treat me the same way. My phone doesn't ring any more than it did before I was a spinner.
Okay.
If I'm out of line, you'll still put me in check. Peter will call and say,
"Oh no, I will."
Right. So I got you. I got Pete. I got Susan from Trove Desert, the director of that program. I'm surrounded by people. Auntie, who just called. This is support that we've had, before we ever did anything great.
That's right.
We're just dreaming, and we're still dreaming.
Ooh.
I'm still dreaming. There are more things, that I need to accomplish. And it's that same support that pushed you, that encouraged you, that let you know that you can make it, that you can do whatever you like. It's that same support system that keeps you in check when you come home, reminds you, hey, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget who your real friends are. Don't forget, who really loves you, So
exactly.
I give you guys the credit for that, because my friends keep me in check. My friends haven't changed. I haven't changed so far. I haven't, praise God.
Well, this is the thing. Your friends are going to be your friends. It's the associates and the acquaintanceships that always change. A true friend is not going to change. Now, we will ride the wave as we have our spikes and things in the road because our journeys will take us through uncharted waters or whatever. And so we just ride that wave with you, honey. If we got to throw the lifeboat or if we got to drop an anchor here and there, that's what we're there for. At least that has always been my definition of it. However, not everybody operates in that particular world, and friendship becomes negotiable. It becomes conditional. I'm your friend as long as you say I'm fabulous,
Right. as long as you be my yes person and whatever I want to do, you tell me it's okay,
Exactly. My gratuitous praise team is what a lot of folks think that friends are supposed to be about, and all of those things. Now, we talked about the earlier days of being in school and things. Now, let's go to the earlier days. What brought you into the realm of radio in between being on stage singing? Did you find this to be an extension of your career? Because take me, for instance. I'm not on stage at the moment, and this opportunity came for me to do this particular show. So I'm in this particular arena right now because it's entertainment. Was this the same kind of feel for you, or did you see this as something else?
Well, it was to me, it's the same. It's all entertainment. And as I was approaching graduation from high school, and I wanted either a record deal with the current group that I was in, which wasn't happening, or I was, thinking of the idea of just leaving Detroit, going to L.A., doing the starving artist thing, living in who knows what kind of cardboard box, and doing auditions, as often as I possibly could.
Right, eating ramen noodles and sardines.
Right. That's what Nicole Gilbert did. Nicole Gilbert now sings with Brownstone, and she's turned out to be a tremendous success.
She's coming on the show soon.
Yeah, Dwayne Barnes, who's a very accomplished actor. I've seen him in several movies, television shows, and whatnot. He's doing phenomenally well. But it was a teacher, two teachers actually, Miss Jordan, one of my math teachers.
Oh, wow.
He had talked to me about acting and going that road. And my band director, Mr. Croft, he talked to me. He presented the idea to me about radio. Hey, Jessie, you got a great voice. You should think about this, that, or the other. And we talked about the Specs Howard School of Broadcast Arts. And, I was just weighing all of my options, and I didn't want to graduate and not go to college, not go out and pursue an acting career. I didn't want to graduate and do nothing. I had to do something.
Right.
And I don't know, radio seemed like a shoe-in for me. So I inquired. I went to the school itself, and we did the audition thing, and I made it in. I only missed one day of broadcasting school, and that was to walk across the stage at my high school graduation. That's how soon I had enrolled.
Oh, wow.
In broadcasting school to get the radio thing going. And I had a plan that through my travels and all the many interviews that that I had done through the years, that I would somehow end up joining a group. I have joined a group, but it didn't come through radio like I thought it was. As a matter of fact, I was auditioning and sending out demos and resumes to get back into radio or to get more work when the Spinners thing came up. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was Mr. Croft pointed me in that direction, and I took his advice, and I had no regrets, none whatsoever.
Yes, baby, you and this voice. I'm going to say this publicly because I told you this privately. After so many years, because you never knew this, right when we were in high school together, I used you as my model for your voice because my voice started changing. And, Lord, I was going through many, many, many changes about it because my singing voice changed as well. I was used to singing, up there, and I was able to do Denise Williams and Minnie Riperton and carrying on naturally. Until that day, my mother said, "Sing like you talk, baby." And I was doing the Patti LaBelle song. I had a girlfriend at the time. We'll talk about that later. And since then, I guess me doing that popped my voice to change, and I've always used you as my model because
Wow.
I heard my voice going into them deeper tones. I was like, oh, you have got to be kidding! I don't know how to do this. I'm gonna sound
Right.
horrible. And it was you who I patterned myself after when I
Wow.
started trying to practice the lower ranges and being comfortable with it, and
Okay.
and being able to sing to be a bass singer
Uh-huh.
comfortably. So for that, I had to finally tell you that after 25 years I think I had to say, okay, you know what, I got a confession.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
and
flattering.
huh?
That's flattering.
Oh, my darling, honey, I used to. Oh, I used to practice that, and because I was so low, I couldn't be heard because I was talking so low. I would call you, like, "What are you saying? What did you say?" And I didn't want you to know what I was doing.
Uh,
So,
that's right, and I understand. And a lot of people think, "Wow, you've got an amazing voice. It must have been a real treat, to sound like that." And this happened. My voice changed at a very early age. I graduated elementary school. I left the fifth grade, and this happened, during summer vacation. And you always hear from relatives, "Wow, you've grown. Or, wow, your voice is deeper now." So. I thought that it was that's just something that they say. Yeah, I'm getting taller. Yeah, the voice is a little deeper. I had no idea of how dramatic the change was until the first day of middle school. I'm in the sixth grade, and they're doing roll call. And everyone sounds like a girl. The boys and the girls, we all have
right,
high big voices. So it's Sheila here, Tyrone
right,
here, Jermaine here. Then you get to Jessie here.
yeah,
And
right, okay,
took off her glasses, and she said, "Young man, stand up." And she asked me to say my name and wanted to make sure I'm supposed to be here and how old am I and all that. And it was kind of weird, in class, you try to whisper and, with a deep voice, it carries. So I
oh,
couldn't even whisper
darling,
in class. The teacher would say, "I heard that." The whole class heard everything I said. It's like, what? And calling friends, female friends when you're in school, that was a nightmare. Someone's
I'm
father
sure
answers
it
the phone.
was.
Here's this guy that sounds like a full-grown man asking for his daughter. He said, "Well, how old are you?" I'm like, "Well, I'm 12, or I'm 13," and they didn't believe me, and "Don't call my house anymore," and all that. So it was kind of a bad thing at first. I walk up to somebody in a department store to give them assistance. "Excuse me, miss," and they jump. Every day I'd hear that, "Oh, you scared me." "I'm sorry, your voice." I'm like, "Why?" So at first I thought it was kind of a curse. It wasn't a good thing.
Of course, of course.
I had to learn to accept it, and then after I accepted it, I started to realize it was actually a good thing. So yeah,
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, so I stopped singing in the higher ranges, and like you said, I started singing things in the lower range. I went to the Larry Grahams, the Barry Whites, and started.
Oh my
Doing songs
God.
like
Okay, yeah. When I was able to get through 1 in a Million You successfully, I was like, oh my God. The first time I did that, I thought, oh, this is over for me. This is over because I tend to have, my affinity for female vocalists and all of that. And I was like, okay, I can never do this ever again. But then I found out the power of that voice. And that power too well, being up there on the stage. And what time is it, Jessie? Do it now. What time is it?
12:45.
Lord, yes. That's my shit. Anyway, see the power of that. Okay, and you get the folks to throw the panties and the carry-ons and carry-ons. Now, you know what? When you have that, what does that feel like on the stage? I mean, just give it to me from that particular point of view to know that side of the control. We know it from the acting point, but what is it as a vocalist? What is that power like?
I feel, frankly, I feel like the king of the world, during those moments. I feel it's an invincible feeling. It really is. Extremely empowering. You almost think that you can stretch out your arms and just take flight. It's really hard to explain, but it's just a tremendous, awesome, very powerful feeling.
Wow.
Step out and do something that's so natural for me, and the fans, who paid to see the performance, for them to show so much appreciation. It's incredible. When I come off of that stage, it's like it takes a while, but I'm coming down from a high, you know.
Exactly.
It takes time to come back down, you know, and realize that, okay, yeah, you're still a human being, you know.
Right.
You know, but yeah, that stage, and then stage for me is home. I feel most comfortable on stage, more comfortable than in my bed. But when I'm there, that's the one time that I'm accepted by everyone. It's the one time that my flaws and shortcomings don't seem to matter. Just perform.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
speaking of the fans, how is it, particularly that the Spinners being an all-male band, and you coming in with as a new generation, kind of so to speak, of the Spinners? You know, the LGBT community, and for those of you who don't know what LGBT stands for, that's lesbian, gay, bi, attractional, transgender. That community, you know, has come through its share of ups and downs and have always been a backbone in popular culture as far as the music and kind of dictating. I assume, no, I believe that wholeheartedly, that we dictate a lot of popular culture. How do you deal with your male gay fans that come out now? Because, you know, we have an area now where the kids have come out and you know, don't hold back or don't feel they have to be closeted anymore. Does that pose to be a problem? How do you deal with that? And I mentioned, you know, folks throwing panties up there, but, you know, we'll get a few brazen children that may throw some BVGs.
Well, you know what? I have a problem with my problem with the gay and lesbian community is when they don't come out. You know, come out, let's have a good time. I don't care if it's male, female, black, white, tall, if you're a short person, if you whatever your challenges are. I mean, I go to church. I go to Second Ebenezer Church.
Okay.
And the church that I go to, I don't have time to be looking at and judging other folks for what they believe and what they do and so on and so forth. I'm too busy trying to get myself, you know, into heaven. And trust me, Meach, I got enough problems of my own. So I don't care what you are. You know, did you enjoy the show? Did I entertain you? Did you enjoy yourself? I could care less about what your preferences are. You know, after the show, we can hang out, we can party just like I would anybody else. So, you know, I don't judge people, you know, when it comes to things like that. I accept everybody because with all of my flaws, you know, I'm still accepted. So, and that's
all right. Now say that right there.
You know, no, I ain't got no time for that mess. I don't care what you're into. I'm here to do a concert, and if you paid for a ticket, I'm here to perform for you. So I'm going to give you my best.
Watch out now, because you said that in that tone, honey. Now watch yourself. Watch yourself.
I mean, there's no way. How do I answer that question? Where I guess I don't care. I don't care what you believe, what you're into, what you do. You know. So what we have in common is that I'm a member of the Spinners, and you like the Spinners music. So tonight we're going to get together. I'm going to sing, and you're going to clap. We're going to have a wonderful time. After that, go to your life, do what you do, and I'll go back to what I'm doing. If we're friends, then I'll talk to you tomorrow, you know. But
okay, well, dig that.
You know,
okay,
dig that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in singling people out, you know. Do you know how many gay and lesbian, you know, folks out there buy the albums of the group that I perform with? How many people buy tickets?
Honey.
You know, come on, man. You want to start acting like that? You start seeing fewer and fewer people in your audience. You don't do that.
And you will see fewer and fewer record sales, honey.
That's right.
We know how to hit them pockets, baby.
There was one perfect person on the planet, and even he went through the most persecution of any person to this day. So,
how about it?
Man, please.
We got another caller.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's take it.
Yeah, we do. Okay, yes. Let me get this caller in before I start putting the wrap up on everything. I'm going to 248-688. Come on in. You're dishing tea with Big Meach. Hello, caller.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Hey.
Yes, this question is for Jessie.
Go ahead.
I was wondering, by you becoming a spinner and fulfilling a dream, how it's really in two parts. My question: how has it changed you, and how do you wish it to change you?
Oh, I like that.
It's changed me in the sense that, I gotten to a point in my life where I was starting to wonder, because as we get older, the older we get, the less we dream. Children believe that they can be whatever they want to be. The older we get, the more responsibilities we take on, the more hard knocks we take. That dream kind of is deferred, and then it just kind of fades into black. I was almost at the point where my dream, deferred, was fading into black, and I was starting to, I was beginning to not believe, that this kind of thing can happen, that dreams come true. Becoming a spinner has reinforced my thought that, yes, real dreams do come true, and that whatever you want in life, that you do have to go for it, and that you can attain it. So I believe, my belief has been renewed once again. So in that sense, I have been changed. And what's the second part of the question?
I was wondering, how do you hope that it will change you? What do you want? What kind of changes, life changes, do you want as a result of this?
I'm hoping that it will continue to give me peace, because there's a certain amount of peace I have now by doing what I'm doing. When you're married with kids, and you're acting, you're in a play here and there, community theater, when you're hosting a talent show or something like that locally, where you're paid $50, $100, maybe $200, that's not your job. You still have a regular 9-to-5 job, and you kind of feel guilty, when you're doing, those outside gigs, and it's not bringing in a lot of money, and you've got family to support, and it takes a lot of time. It's not just the show; there are rehearsals and all of that. Well, now it pays the bills. Now it takes care of me, and it's only the beginning. I'm hoping that it changes me as far as my financial status. I'm hoping that it changes me career-wise. I'm hoping that this is just the beginning. Ultimately, I would like to be a entertainment talk show host, much like Arsenio Hall, but I would like to last for at least a decade or so. Also, I would like to be the guy that does most of the movie trailers, He was a radio announcer. His name was Meach, and one day he went mad. Meach goes wild, rated R, under 17, not admitted without parents.
Not admitted without parental guidance,
Everybody in theaters everywhere. Those are the changes I'm looking for. I'd like to do more voice work. I'd like to get up in the morning, put my robe on, go downstairs to my computer, turn the mic on, read off whatever scripts I have while sipping my coffee, and go back to bed. I'd like to have an entertainment show that's nationwide and then some, where I'm talking to different artists and we're having lots of fun on television every night. So those are the changes I'm looking for. Internally,
well, I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
God bless you. And
let me interject. Okay, thank you, caller. Let me interject right here, because we're down to like the last 60 seconds of the show, believe it or not.
Wow.
Oh, I know. It goes by very quickly when you're having fun, honey. So what can we expect from the Spinners soon, honey? We got any new albums coming out or anything?
The Spinners are going into the studio this year. There are two things
fabulous.
we'd like to do. One thing we've never done a Christmas album. So the Spinners are looking forward to doing a Christmas album, as well as a new album with some brand new hits as well. So.
All right, so you're going to be a recording artist now. Get up out of here. I am loving it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and for joining me and dishing your tea with Big Meach right here. I want to thank you, darling, for coming on the show and for supplying us a little glimpse inside your world and for taking us on just a small portion of your journey. We're looking forward to more things from you, better things, greater things, as Diana Ross said, bigger and better club work all over the country.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. You have been dishing tea with me. Join us next week, once again, here, 1 to 2 p.m., honey. We're going to have a new and exciting show, and I hope to see you again soon. Until then, my darlings, be blessed. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming in. You are dishing tea with Big Meach, And once again, I would like to thank you all for joining the show. If you would like to come in and talk with us and have questions or comments, you can feel free to call in at 347-205-9183. Once again, that's 347-205-9183. I am here today having a good time. This is going to be a great show because this is his very first interview. Radio interview with his new title, and I'm very ecstatic to get the exclusive, if you will. This person and I, we go back a long way, and I'm very excited about his success and want to make sure that we do him justice. Once again, to call in, if you got questions, comments, or concerns, the call-in number is 347-205-9183. If you have any show ideas or suggestions or comments or critiques, you can send them to dishingteawithbigmeach@gmail.com. That's all one word, dishingtea with Big Meach @gmail.com. Also, we have the chat room up and running, so if you logged on to Blog Talk Radio and you got a page up, you can go to my chat room and have a chat session. Those of you who are over there, honey, I'm one person, so I'll be working back and forth. I'll get over there to you in a second. If you're online listening through your telephone and have a question or comment, just press the number 1, and your hand will raise up on my switchboard, and I'll come in and I'll get you in a second, okay? So we're going to get things moving right along because I'm very excited about this man's success. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to present to you someone who has been the voice of my life for a little piece of minute. His name is Mr. Jessie Peck, and he is currently the new bass singer of the legendary group, The Spinners, okay? Let me give you a little bit of his background. Mr. Jessie Peck, the voice, as he has been affectionately known, was born in Queens, New York, and has been raised in Detroit, Michigan. He, since his very early childhood, Jessie knew that entertaining was what he wanted to do. At the tender age of 9 years old, he was modeling for Essex Productions and got bit by the bug when he sang in his first of many talent shows. He became an accomplished trumpet player in middle school and soon after added acting and theater to his repertoire. Once he got to high school, Jessie was a member of the Cody High School Choraleers, the Cody High School Latrobe Desire Theater Department, and was a member of the critically acclaimed Tony Talley and the Beat It Crew, where he